get ready to have this father, Colin Gray, 54 years old, father of the 14-year-old charged in the shooting at Apalachee High School, leave the courtroom here as he has a final few words with his attorney for the time being. We saw that front row full of victims' family members in the courtroom, and a number of things striking us as we watched this unfold together. One, in a matter of 15 minutes, he sat down in the same seat that his son has been in as he heard the charges against him, as well as he was rocking back and forth in that seat and sniffling, looked like he was crying at times.
Total opposite disposition of his son, who came in with, seemingly a straight face, very calm demeanor here. Dad appeared to be extremely worked up. But we also want to acknowledge that we saw the victims' family members there in the front row as well, many of them wearing dark glasses, holding their head in their hands, and just really going through this emotional time as they saw the father for the first time. Once those charges were read, the judge sort of totaling them up here, those 4 counts of involuntary manslaughter. This is video of Colt in court, as you see, total opposite sort of body demeanor there. Again, going back to the charges for the dad, Colin Gray, those 4 counts of involuntary manslaughter, 2 counts of second-degree murder, and 8 counts of cruelty to children. When you add up each count and the maximum weight that each of those counts could carry if convicted, that came down to a total possible for the father of 180 years in prison for Colin Gray.
And what you're seeing happen in court today is this move towards accountability for parents of those accused in these school shootings. Essentially, these charges mean that prosecutors and investigators believe that this father should have known. They're talking about the involuntary manslaughter would be in reference to allowing his son to possess a weapon. The second-degree felony murder, meaning that a person caused a death that involved cruelty to children regardless of the intent. And we saw this father react when the judge said if you total up the possible maximum sentence, it'd be 180 years. For his son, each of those felony murder charges, if convicted, have the potential of life in prison without parole.
And so just to kind of bring this full circle here, why the father was connected to this whole case in the first place. Just last year, we see dad walking in there from a short time ago. So just last year, there was this site called Discord that they saw threats. The IP addresses came back to the dad. The FBI in Jackson County started to investigate. They said, hey, yes, we have these weapons. My son does not have access to them. But then, according to CNN, reading here, the arrest warrant affidavit alleges that the father provided his son with a firearm with knowledge he was a threat to himself and others. That is according to CNN. And then the dad, Colin Gray, told the investigators he purchased the gun used in the shooting to kill those 4 people at Apalachee High School on Wednesday, purchased this gun as a holiday present for his son in December of 2023, a 14-year-old with an AR-15 style rifle, Cheryl.
And that is the weapon that investigators say that he had inside the school. And we're talking about a shooting that happened less than 2 days ago. It was 10:20 on Wednesday, so we're 47 hours before that happened. And some things that stood out to us as we read the transcript of the interview when, after that FBI tip you were talking about, Aisha, came in, they went to the home, they talked to both the father, Colin, and the son, Colt, who was 13 at the time. And the father, according to the transcript, talked about Colt struggling over his parents' separation, being often picked on at school, and that his teenage son often fired guns, hunted with his father. There was a picture of the son with deer blood on his cheeks, and the father saying, pretty matter-of-factly, according to the transcript, that his son knew the seriousness of weapons, knew what they could do, knew how to use them. And then we fast forward 1 year later, and here a father and son both appearing in the same courtroom, in the same seat, on the same day.
In addition to that, what we understand, another shocking detail here about him being in school, he just enrolled at Apalachee High School 2 weeks ago but had only been to school for 2 days. So this incident transpired on just his second day of school, even though he was enrolled there for a student for 2 weeks prior to this event. And so we continue to follow this story, multiple layers to it. We do expect for both of them to be back in court on December 4th for a preliminary hearing.